Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Fanning, and this is Warm Up 345. So I got a little bit of crazy hair this morning. Today, I want to talk about doing hard things. And in doing hard things, I specifically want to talk about identifying the why. I want to talk about setting rules, and rules develop what we call bright lines. So if you think about it, every single one of us have something in our life right now that we know we should do, but it's hard, right? It's difficult. And what happens is we make an attempt at it and then we talk ourselves out of it. And then we make an attempt at it and we talk ourselves out of it. And what happens in many cases is we're focusing too much on maybe the pain that it would cause in the short term, or the being uncomfortable, or not having enough what we call motivation, right, to do it. So we're not motivated enough to do it. But the reality of it is, it's something that if we would do, it would give us great benefit long term and allow us to become our future better self. So how are there people out there that have really hard things and they push through it and they do it? And there's some strategies to make that happen. So let's think about this for a second. And I'm gonna use a really simple one, and I know there's more complicated hard things, but I'm gonna use a really simple one that comes up a lot when we do coaching. And what we know is that if you want to really own your day, and then own your week, and own your month, and own your year, it really starts by being an early riser. And I can't tell you how many people struggle with getting up, just waking up in the morning, and they'll try it for a while and then they fall off the wagon. And so it's a hard thing to do, right? And what you'll do is you'll hear them tell the story about, well, I'm not an early morning person, I've tried it before, it didn't work. And what they're really saying to you is that it's not comfortable, I don't like it, so I'm gonna focus on that, right? So here's what we do. So the first thing we do is we identify why that's important for us to do it. So what's the why behind wanting to do it? So if getting up early is going to mean that you're going to have time for yourself in the morning, that you're gonna have better control of your day, you're gonna have a fresher mind, you're gonna be able to make more clear decisions, you're gonna be able to have more energy, you're gonna be more energized, you're gonna be in more of a positive space. What does that person look like every day that does that? What do they look like, and how does that person feel? And so what's your why? Because if you don't have a strong belief in doing it, you're always going to struggle with it. It's never going to happen. All right, you're always going to struggle with it, and it's never going to happen. So what you have to do is you have to say, what does that future self, and vividly imagine the person that does whatever that hard thing is that you're trying to accomplish consistently looks like. See them in your mind. Picture them in your mind. Think about that person often. Because, when we think about things, there's these stages we talk about. There's, curiosity, interest, desire, and commitment. And you think about these things, and as you start to really envision things that you want, you go from curiosity to interest, and then you move into desire. What's amazing, when you move into desire, your brain will start to hardwire solutions. Say, this is going to happen. And what happens is you get to that level of commitment. But many times what happens is when people quit is because they're in that curiosity state, and then they allow the pain or the fear, or they talk themselves out of doing something. So here we go again. There's a hard thing I want to do. Identify why that is important to you, and then picture who that person will be if that happened on a consistent basis, or that big thing that you need to make a decision about that you're struggling with happened. What would be the cause or the effect of that decision being done successfully, right? And who would that person be? Then next is this: set hard rules around that thing. So for example, if you are struggling getting up early and you say, I have a hard rule that as soon as I wake up, I don't lie in bed for longer than 10 minutes. Or I have a hard rule that I will not allow myself to hit the snooze button. I have a hard rule that as soon as my eyes open, I step out of bed. Whatever that is, make that a rule, right? Make that a rule in your mind. Set rules. It's amazing when we set rules about things. So for example, like I have a hard rule that I will be ready and able to work every single day, no later than 8 o'clock, right? That's my hard rule, like I'm ready to go at 8. Because what happens is when we set those rules in our mind, right? So now they're in our mind, and when we don't abide by our rule, we have to have a conversation internally. Why did you do that, right? And we call those rules bright lines because they light up our brain to say, wait a second, you don't lay in bed longer than 10 minutes. You just laid in bed longer than 10 minutes. Why did you do that? And all of a sudden you go, I know, I can't do that again. And now you're making your non-conscious mind aware of that rule. And then once you have those bright lines, abide by your rules, right? So think about the hard things that you have to do in your life. Identify Why? Why is that so important for you to make it happen, right? Why is it important? Envision the person that you become by doing that hard thing, and what does that look like, and focus more on that and less on the pain that's in the short-term period of time, and set a hard rule, right? Set a hard rule that you will remember if you do not abide by that rule, because it will become a bright line. All right, everybody, hopefully that was helpful, gave you some insight on how to do hard things. And here's the deal. We all have hard things we need to do. We all have situations in our lives that we struggle with doing on a consistent basis. Try some of these tactics, try some of these strategies. I guarantee you they will work for you. All right, everybody, hey, be awesome and help somebody. Make it a great day. Talk to you later.